Good morning, everyone. In the last session, we developed application by using IOC container dependency injection. So we implemented setter injection and constructor injection also. So what is the meaning of setter injection, guys? Injecting the dependent bean object into target bean object by using target class setter method is called as setter injection. What is the meaning of constructor injection? Injecting dependent bean object into target bean object using target class parameterized constructor is called as constructor injection. If we perform both constructor and setter injection for the single variable, then what will happen? If you inject both constructor injection and setter injection at a time, what will happen? First constructor injection will happen, then setter injection will happen. So setter injection is going to overwrite constructor injection value. Perfect. In the last session, I have given one task. So in the project, multiple classes will be available and one class will be talking to multiple other classes available in the project. So when we have requirement like this, how we need to configure those classes, which one we need to consider as a target class, which one we need to consider as a dependent class, and how to manage them. Online students, is my voice audible? Online people, is my voice audible? Yes. Now, let me create this project, guys. So let me go here, file new, Maven project we are going to create. Next, simple project I'm creating. This is our fourth application by using IOC container 04 IOC application. Basically, that is group ID. Group ID is something like our organization name, in.ashok IT. Artifact ID is our project name. Click on finish. So with this, our fourth project got created. As discussed earlier, we need to configure some dependencies here. Spring context dependency I am configuring. Go to this pom.xml and add the dependencies. All right. So Spring dependency I configured in this application. Then after this, guys, observe, when I am developing a project, I will right click on this, close unrelated projects. What is the purpose of that? Only this project should open, the remaining projects should be closed here. So right click on this one, close unrelated projects. Other projects got closed, only the current project which I am working on is open. So go to the build path, change the Java version, configure build path, libraries, JRE, JDK 17 we are going to use. All right. Now, if you see the classes, here we have several classes, password service available, DAO is available, email is available. All these classes are dependent classes for the user service. So here, user service is our target. The remaining three classes are called as dependent classes. So first, let me create the dependent classes, new package. I'm creating all these classes inside one package called beans package. All right. Now, first let me create a class with a name called user DAO. So yesterday I have seen somebody created a class with a name called only DAO. Don't use like that. So use the proper name for the class. My class is user DAO. So in this class, I'm writing one zero param constructor. Okay, I'm writing zero param constructor. So here I'm specifying user DAO constructor got executed. Okay, if this message is printed, that means constructor got executed. And I'm writing one dummy method, public void save method. Okay, so here I'm writing system.out.println user record saved. User record saved in database. So how to save in the database, we will discuss in the coming classes. Currently, we are writing just save method. Excuse me. I'm just writing the save method. In this method, I'm writing one line, SOP statement. When we call this method, it will print a message, user record saved in the database. Then next one, let me create one more class, which is called password service. Password service. So here also, I'm writing one zero param constructor. Then system.out.println password service constructor executed. Password service constructor executed. So if this constructor is executed, that means the object got created, right? So here also, I'm writing one dummy method, public void encrypt. So this method is responsible to encrypt the password before saving the record into database. Password encrypted. Just one dummy message. How to encrypt the passwords, that we will discuss in our course, right? Here we need to understand how to manage our classes as a Spring Beans. So I'm giving encrypt method, so which is going to encrypt the password. Then next one, let me create one class called email service class, right? This is used to send emails to the user. Now, same zero param constructor, system.out.println. I'm taking email service constructor. If this constructor is executed, that means email service object got created. So let me write a method, public void send email. Okay, system.out.println email sent successfully. Email sent successfully. Perfect. So with this, all the three dependent beans I have created. DAO class available, password service, email service class is also available. Next one, let me create my target class. My target class wants to talk to all these three dependent classes. So let's go here and create one target class. So which is our user service class. So here also, let us write a constructor, user service, system.out.println, user service constructor execute. You don't want fan? Can you switch on that? This one also. Where is that? No. Yeah. Right. So user service constructor is available, and here we need to write the method which is going to perform all the operations. Okay. So here I'm writing one method called public void user registration. This is our target class method, which is used to perform user registration. To perform the user registration, first we need to encrypt password. First, we need to encrypt the password, then save user in database, then send email. So this is the requirement. This is the requirement of our project. All right. So I'm creating one class called user service class. Inside the user service class, I'm writing one method called user registration method. So what is the requirement of user registration? Whenever the request comes to user service class method, it should talk to password service to encrypt the password. Once password is encrypted, it has to store the record into user table by using user DAO. Once the record is inserted in the database, then it has to send an email to the user. For that, we are taking a class called email service class. So that's why in the registration, we need to encrypt the password, we need to save the user in the database, and we need to send the email also. Now, there are three dependents available for my class. Okay. How to deal with the dependents? Let me take private password service, private user DAO. Okay, I'm taking one variable. Then private email service, I'm taking like this, email service. So what all the dependent classes are available? All those dependent classes I'm taking as variables in my class. So am I initializing the variables, or I'm not initializing the variables? I am not initializing the variables. Then who should initialize these variables now? IOC container should initialize these variables. So I need to tell IOC container to perform the dependency injection. Okay, first one, let me write password service dot encrypt user DAO dot save user DAO dot save email service dot send email service dot send email. So I have a target class. Inside the target class, I'm taking dependent class variables, and inside the method, I'm calling other classes method. So one Java class method calling three other Java classes methods to perform the user registration. Now, fine. So this is ready. Now I need to represent all these classes as Spring Beans. So as of now, these are normal Java classes. I need to represent these Java classes as Spring Beans now. How to represent them as Spring Beans? Go to resources folder, new file. The file name beans.xml. The structure I am not getting. How to get that structure? Go to official documentation, take Spring Bean configuration XML file. Spring Bean configuration XML file. Go to this one. Take the XML schema. Copy this. Yes, keep it here. Now, I want to configure them as a Spring Beans. How to configure Java class as a Spring Bean? Bean ID, something like password. Class is equal to fully qualified class name. Package name dot class name. In dot ashok id dot beans dot password service. All right. I'm representing this as one Spring Bean. Now, let me take user DAO, email service, and user service. So total there are 4 classes available. One is the target, 3 are dependents. Okay. So let me configure user DAO as a Spring Bean, and let me configure email service as a Spring Bean, and let me configure user service as a Spring Bean. So just we are configuring all the 4 classes as Spring Beans. Am I writing the configuration for dependency injection? Configuration is available for the dependency injection. Configuration not available, not available. Just I am representing my Java class as Spring Bean. So let me go and create one test class, new class, in.ashokid.test. So you can give any name for this one just for testing purpose. Let me write one main method in order to start the IOC container. Can you tell me how to start the IOC container now? How to start the IOC container now? So we are going to use application context. Context is equal to new class path XML application context. What is the input we need to pass for this one? beans.xml. Import the statement. Control O. Okay. The statement is imported. So with this, we are able to start our IOC container. With this, we are able to start the IOC container. Let's run the application and see objects are creating or not. Run as Java application. Oh, it is failed. Class path resource beans.xml. Read the error. Configuration problem, password already defined in the bean. I think I have given duplicate IDs for the beans, right? So every bean should have a unique ID. Okay. Then here, let me give this one as a DAO. Let me give this as email. Let me give this as user service. Every bean should have a unique ID. All right. Right click, run as Java application. Now you can see password object created, password service object created, user DAO object created, email service object created, user service object also created. Now, which is our target class here? Which class method we need to execute to perform the user registration? Our target is user service. So we need to get the target bean and we need to call the target class method. All right. So do you know how to get the bean object from the IOC container? How to get the bean object from the IOC container? Context dot get bean. What is the target class? User service dot class. User service dot class. I want to get the return type. Automatically I have to get the return type. Control plus 1. Here zoom is enabled. Yeah. How to get the return type? Control plus 1, enter. So with this, I'm able to get the return type of this method. Then let me call user service dot user registration. User service dot user registration. So I'm able to get the bean object and I'm calling the bean method. Now, can we run this application and can we guess what is the output? Null pointer exception. Why you will get the null pointer exception? Why you will get the null pointer exception? Because we are taking dependent bean variables, but dependency injection is configured. Dependency injection not configured. Dependency injection not configured. So those variables will be initialized with the null values. Null dot method, you will get the null pointer exception. Let's run the application. Run as Java application. Now we got the null pointer exception because password service object is not injected. Password service is holding a null variable. Variable holding a null value. Null value dot method null pointer exception. I want to run this project in the debug mode. I want to run this program in the debug mode. What is the debugging? Come on. What is the debugging? Come on, stand up. What is debugging? Check the execution flow. How to check that? Have you gone through the debugging video? 5 years back, I have uploaded that video. That is the first video I uploaded in our YouTube channel. Debugging video, very important for the Java developer. If you don't know debugging, then you are not a developer, because nobody can execute the program without debugging in the industry. Because in the training period, you will develop a small classes which will contain 5 to 10 lines of code. But when you go for the real-time project, hundreds of lines of code will be available, 1,000 lines of code will be available. By looking at the code, you cannot understand what is happening. You need to execute the program line by line to understand the flow, to identify the problem. For that, we are going to use debugging. Debugging is very important for every developer. And the debugging, when you are doing debugging for the backend application, some approach we need to follow. When you are going to work on the front-end application, debugging we need to do in the browser. Backend code, Java code debugging we will do in the IDE. Angular, React, JavaScript code we will debug in the browser. You should know browser level debugging. You should know IDE level debugging also. Now, I want to run my program in the debug mode to understand line by line execution flow. If you want to debug any program, first step, you need to keep a breakpoint here. The very first step, you need to keep a breakpoint here. Now you see, when I double click before the line number 13 is available. Before 13, there is a blue color line available, right? If you double click here, there is a symbol available. There is a dot available. That dot is called breakpoint. Okay. Breakpoint is used to start the debugging flow. Okay. I want to debug the program from the line number 11 onwards. Line number 11, IOC container starting. I want to debug from here. So double click on this one so that breakpoint is available. Once you kept the breakpoint on that particular line, right click on the program. As of now, we are using run as a Java application. From now onwards, you need to use debug as Java application. Use the debug as Java application. So when you use the debug as a Java application, it will ask for switch. Click on no, not required. When you click on no, then it will execute the program like this. Can you see a blue color highlight here? Green color highlight is available. That means your thread started the program execution. If Java program execute from the main method, that main method will be executed by one thread. Our thread started the execution. As there is a breakpoint in the line number 11, thread is waiting for the execution. Now, as a programmer, I will control my thread execution now. To control the thread execution, we need to use some shortcuts in the keyboard. If I use F6, then I will go to the next line. I'm going to the next line. It is taking time. Why it is taking time? Because, so you see, from the line number 11 to line number 13, it is taking almost 2 to 3 seconds of time. Why? Because IOC container is starting, it is reading the XML, it is loading the classes, it is creating the objects. Lot of code, maybe 100 to 200 lines of code will execute in the background. Where is that 100 to 200 lines of code? In the Spring framework. That is the abstraction for us. You observe, I'm going to stop the program. I will run it in the debug. If I use run as a Java application, directly code is executed. I don't know what is happening in the code. I don't want output like that. I want to execute my code line by line. Okay, then you need to go for debugging. To do the debugging, so right, first you keep a breakpoint. Line number 11 is the starting point in my method. I'm keeping a breakpoint in the line number 11. Right click, debug as Java application. Okay, no. So my thread is waiting at the line number 11 because there is a breakpoint available. If the breakpoint is not available, thread will complete the execution. I don't want to complete. I want to run my code line by line to understand execution flow. Are you clear? Now, so line number 11, what is the purpose of this line number 11? Start the IOC container. We are just creating object for the class. What will happen internally? Take the XML, validate the XML, read the XML, load the beans available in the XML, create the object for them. If dependency injection is required, perform the dependency injection, finally return the reference of the IOC container. Lot of code will execute in the background. So to execute that code, it will take some time. Now see, I want to go from line number 11 to line number 13. 12 is a white space. There is nothing in that white space. So from 11, I want to go to 13. What is the shortcut? What is the shortcut? In the keyboard, you need to press F6. But if you are using laptop, your F6 key will not work directly. You need to press a function, then you need to press the F6. Okay, if you are having a large keypad like this, F6 will work directly. If you are using a compact keyboard, laptop keyboard, F6 will not work directly. You need to press a function keyword in the keyboard, then press the F6. Got it? Now I'm using large keyboard, I can press F6 directly. Now observe, I'm pressing F6. Taking time. Still it is taking time because finally IOC started. What is the proof to say that IOC started? On the console you can see constructors are executed. Now with this IOC container started, I got the reference of the IOC. So this is a variable which is holding the IOC container object. Okay. Now from here we are calling context.getBean method. What is the purpose of context.getBean method? Listen, context.getBean is to create the object or is to get the object? Because already objects are created. I just want to get the object. Now, I want to go for next. Line is executed or not executed as of now. If that green color is available, that line is not executed. If you press F6, then only that line will execute. Okay, press F6. Very quickly that line is executed because it is just to give the object which is available in the IOC container. Now, if you keep your cursor on the variable, yes, we can see the object is created. Now you can see in that object, email service variable, password service variable, DAO variable. Dependency injection completed or not completed? Not completed. So those variables are initialized with the null values. So like this, you need to debug the program to understand. Okay. Now, after this, line number 14. What is the line number 14? Calling a method. Now, if I press F6, that method execution will complete. I will go for the next line. But I don't want to go for the next line. I want to go inside the method. I want to see what is the logic available in that method. Yes. What is the keyword? F5. Now, if I press F6, that line will complete. Method will complete. I will go for the next line. I don't want to go for next line. I want to go inside the method because I want to see what is the logic in the method. Then I will press F5. Press F5. Yes, I came inside the method. I came inside the method. When I came inside the method, line number 15, password service dot encrypt. Just you keep your cursor on the variable. What is the value of that variable? Null dot method. I got the problem. So with this, I'm able to identify where my program is failing. As a developer, you need to use this debugging technique to understand where you are getting the problems in your code. So with this debugging technique, you can understand other developers' code also. You can understand how your code is executing. You can understand where your code is failing also. Okay. Now, so very clear. If I keep a cursor on the variable is holding a null value, null dot method. Now if I press F6, null pointer exception. Okay, F6. I got the null pointer exception. In which line I am getting the null pointer exception? Line number 15. Why we are getting the null pointer exception? Because this variable is not initialized by IOC container. IOC creating the object for the target classes, dependent classes, but it is not injecting dependent objects into target object. Are you able to follow me? Yes. Now, if you here the code understanding is very simple because we have just 3 lines of code. But when you go for real-time project implementation, our code will have, our class may contain 2000 lines, 3000 lines of code will be available. Understanding 2000, 3000 lines of code is not easy. And that too, those 2000 lines of code developed by so many team members. So from last 3 years project is running. 3 years back, some developer has implemented that code. That a developer is not there in the company today. You need to work on that code. You need to fix the problem in that code. How you will understand? If you look at the code, can you understand? No. If you run the program, can you understand? No. What is the way to understand the program? Debugging. Debugging is a process of executing the program line by line. Debugging is a process to execute the program line by line. Why we need to execute the program line by line? To understand the execution flow, to understand the problems in the program. Now you see here, if you go to our channel, old video, oldest, that means first when the channel is started, whatever the video I have uploaded, 5 years ago, I have uploaded one video, Java code debugging in the IDE. 43 minutes I have explained about the debugging concept. Go to that video and let me show you the number of lines of code available in that. Yep. So this is my program. Yeah. So this is my project which I have implemented in the real time. So when I have recorded this video in 2018, I was working for a Deloitte company. Do you know Deloitte? One of the most famous auditing company, right? So I was working for a Deloitte company when I have recorded this video. So this is my real-time project in the Deloitte. So that code I am debugging line by line. Okay. If you look at that code, can you understand what that code is going to do? No. Because Real-time code is very different than the code that you see in the Amirpet. In the Amirpet, save the employee, delete the employee, update the employee, retrieve the employee. Login page, registration page, course will be completed. But in the real time, every day new requirement will be available. Hundreds of thousands of classes will be available. One class will contain 2000 to 3000 lines of code. And those 2000 lines, one person will not develop. A team will be available. Multiple people will work on the same class. Multiple people will work on the same method. Understanding other developers' code is very difficult. So that's why we need to use the debugging in order to understand. You see, the code which is there, I'm executing that code line by line. So this is very important skill for every developer, guys. So frankly, tell me, how many of you watched that video completely? One person? Only one person completely watched? What is a drop to frame? Afsu sir. Who completed that video? Nobody. This is second time. You are missing my assignment. Yesterday I asked how many of you watched that shortcut video. Nobody watched it. I told you very clearly, you need to complete 4 videos. Shortcuts, debugging, self-introduction, roles and responsibilities. Who completed this debugging video completely? 40 minutes video is there. Complete debugging I have explained. What are the shortcuts we need to use for the debugging? What is drop to frame? What is variable section? What is a debug shell? What is F5? What is F6, F7, F8 when you are going for the debugging? Why you did not watch that? You don't have time? You don't have time? You have time. Then why you did not watch? I want reason. Why not this? This is also part of assignment, right? Let's stop the class. First complete that video. Then we will continue the class. Okay? Yes or no? So is this the first time I'm telling you to complete the assignment? No. Already yesterday I gave the chance. Yesterday you did not complete it. Okay, fine. I continued the class because first assignment. Yesterday also I told you I will ask the questions in the tomorrow session. So if I ask a question, so what is drop to frame in the debugging? If anyone can answer that question in the class, I will continue the class. Otherwise, I will stop it. What is a drop to frame in the debugging? What is a drop to frame in the debugging? No. Okay, open your laptops, go to the lab, complete that task, whatever the 4 tasks I have given. If you can answer my questions, then I will continue the class. Otherwise, no class. Okay, I'm very serious about the assignment. If you are not interested to learn the subject, why should I have that interest? I told you very clearly, whatever the assignment I give you, if you complete those assignments on time, I will give you the proper subject. If you don't complete the assignment, I cannot give you the subject. There is no use, basically. Now, I will run my every program in the debug mode. You don't know the debugging. Then what you will understand? What I am doing on the screen, I will use some shortcuts. Whatever the shortcuts I am typing in the keyboard, you can't see my shortcuts now. Without you have the knowledge and the concept, how you will understand the class? Yes or no? Then why you did not complete? Let's go to the lab, complete my task. After my task is completed, then I will ask the questions. If you answer my questions, then I will take the class. Is that okay? Yes, let's go to the lab. I'm very serious about the assignment. Stop it. Online students, today no class, we'll meet on tomorrow. When I give some task, you have to complete that, guys. And you have to realize that you are not doing the course for myself. Are you doing the course for me? You are doing the course for what? What is the reason for doing this course? What is the reason for doing this course? To learn the subject. So debugging is out of syllabus concept. When you should know the debugging? In the core Java itself, you should know the debugging because Core Java also you are learning on the IDE only. So at the core Java only you have to learn the debugging. Okay, that is gone. At least in the advanced Java you should know. You did not learn that. When you come to the framework, if you do the framework course without using debugging, you are the number one stupid. There is no use. In the real time, you have to deal with 1,000 lines of code. For that, debugging is very important. Without debugging, I can't develop a project here. I can't explain the code for you without debugging. You got my point? Let's go to the lab, or you can sit here, open your laptop, complete the debugging concept first, go through the self-introduction, go through the roles and responsibilities, Eclipse shortcuts, 4 tasks I have given, you have to complete them. Once it is completed, I will ask the questions. If you answer, then only I will take the class. And this is not only for today. Whenever I give some assignment, if you don't complete the assignment, I will not take the class. I'm very serious about the assignment. I'm keeping my 100% effort. I want you to keep the same 100% effort in the course. Then only you will learn the subject. Otherwise, there is no use. Got my point? Yes, go to the lab. Or you sit here. You can sit somebody, some people can sit on that row. You can sit here, complete the task first. You should know the proper debugging. Without that, no class for you. Online students, I'm stopping the class for today. So please complete that assignment. We'll continue tomorrow. If you don't know this debugging, there is no use of joining this class. I can't continue without knowing this debugging. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Anybody having any questions?
Sir, in real time main method, we don't know, no, sir, where it is located like that.
You can search for that, right? In the Spring Boot application, main method is mandatory.
So how we search that one, sir, actually?
So in the Eclipse shortcuts, I have given that shortcut.
Yes.
Control search, Control S, Control F. You can use Control H. You can use to find the files. Yeah.
Okay.
Go through that video.
Sir,
Yeah.
as you told, bean ID is unique for that particular context. So bean name can be duplicate, is it?
Bean, yes, one class you can configure multiple times with a different ID.
But ID
should be unique.
Bean name can be duplicate. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, guys, and remember, if you don't complete the tasks, I can't take the classes. So what do you guys say?
I'll complete it by today, EOD, sir.
Yeah, please.
I'm struggling. Actually, I'm struggling to set up the Maven. So
okay.
I was practicing some core Java. I'm doing some core Java also Java 8 Streams API. So I'm struggling to set up the Maven, sir. If you can help me for 5 minutes, please.
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir.
And let me know once it's visible, sir.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah. So I have extracted this since this is organization's laptop I'm using. I don't have the rights to extract it on C.
Yes,
I extracted here.
If it is organization laptop, you can't do the Maven environment setup, sir. You can't do that. Okay, so you no need to do this one. You no need to do this directly. You create the project in the IDE. You no need to set up in the manual process, because in the IDE directly Maven will be available. You no need to do this.
But I was able to set up the environment variables and everything.
If you can edit them, then we can configure. Open the environment variable, edit system environment variable.
From here? No. From here I can
type edit system environment variable. Edit system environment variable. Yeah. Edit the system environment variables. Open that.
Yes.
Click on environment variables. Yeah. Here you need to configure Maven home. Configured in the user variable.
Yes, Maven home I have given where I have extracted.
You
And
configure that under system variable, not under user variable. Configure that under system variable.
oh, okay. And M2 home, is this correct?
Yes,
Sir?
sir, correct.
And this is related.
M2 home and Maven home both are not required, sir. Only one is sufficient. You delete M2 home
All right.
and Maven home also you delete from there and configure that under system variables.
Sure, sir. I'll do it after the class.
Yeah.
But I don't want to consume much of your time. So,
Yep, sure.
so here in the path, this is a relative path.
Yeah.
Let me show.
Edit that path.
Yeah.
Here, M2, delete this M2 home, delete this.
Yeah. Actually, instead of M2 home, it should be
Complete path you
Maven
do.
home, Maven home, right?
Complete, yeah.
Okay, I'll do it, sir.
Yes, fine.
And then I'll
And
do.
remember one thing, when you are doing from IDE, this is also not required because in the IDE, Maven is already configured.
Oh, is it? So
Yes.
I can directly create a kind of Maven project and,
Yes,
and go from there.
Yes, you can directly create a project.
Because Maven build itself was failing yesterday.
Yeah, you can directly create that.
Sir, Tomcat server IntelliJ, it is default, no sir. For Eclipse, we need to download and we need
Yeah,
to.
we need to configure that.
For only Eclipse, we need to download.
For the Spring tools out also, but generally in the Spring Boot, we don't need Tomcat because Boot will provide the Tomcat server by default for us.
Okay, now we are using that Maven project, so we need to download that.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one small doubt.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I install one latest Eclipse, Java JTV purpose. So inside that, there is no need for Maven and Java. It's already inbuilt coming with that.
Yes, you can create the project directly.
So directly it is working, no issue. So
no issue. Yeah, you can do that also, sir. No problem.
and in case of any version, JDK specific version, then only we can install that specific.
Yes, correct. Nowadays, the latest IDEs are coming with the integrated environments.
Yes. It's not like previously we need to do all separately.
Correct.
So it's not required. Na? Maven is working fine and Java also working. So
yes, sir. I told you from IDE, if you are doing, you no need to do that setup.
only I think if any command prompt requirement is there, like CMD.
Then only we need to configure Maven home and all. If you want to execute Maven goals from the CMD, then only we need to do that.
Right. That case maybe it's required. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Sir, if I just a quick question, sir. If I want to configure Sonar Cube, then I should go here in the help and then Eclipse Marketplace, is it?
Yes, you can configure that.
Yeah.
Guys, please complete the task before coming to tomorrow's session. We'll meet again tomorrow.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what?
Rupesh, lot of background noise from your side. Check your mic.
Sir, Ravi from this side. Sir, actually, I missed yesterday class and I do join today late as well because I was traveling. So, I haven't checked like those videos are updated. Like you are mentioning about some tasks, sir. So,
Yeah.
Those are under that video, right?
Yes, sir. I will share those videos again in the WhatsApp group also.
Okay.
In the class notes also I will add them. Okay.
Sure, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just yesterday class notes you are not uploaded.
Uploaded, sir. Everything is in the single file, sir. Please check it.
Okay.
I have updated that notes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I watched your Eclipse shortcut video, but I am not able to create constructor by shortcut.
Control Shift S.
Control Shift S.
Fine, guys. Thank you.